So let's discuss the line versus no line argument. I don't think someone is right and someone is wrong. I think it's very much down to personal preference. I'm going to explain why I use a line and the benefits why I think it suits me, but I'll also explain why someone may not like using a line and then prefer to not use a line. For me, the benefits of using the line: it allows me to faff around pre-shot, getting myself where I'm happy with my alignment so I know that my ball is going on my intended target. It then allows me to not even worry about the hole as I'm setting myself towards the golf ball, because I've paced out my putt. So in my mind, I already know the length of swing that I need for that distance. I've now pre-done my alignment. So all I have to do is line up this line with this line, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't even have to worry about the target. I know that that putter is aiming where I want it to because the line is telling me. So I think that takes a lot of confusion for me personally out of the equation. The other reason why I really like the line, and even if you are a no-line person, I would recommend that you have at least one ball in your bag that is with a line. I know the TaylorMade Response ball is really good because it has a really thick line, because what the line gives me in terms of feedback on my putt is my square contact. Because if I do putt squarely through this golf ball, I will see the ball rolling end over end and the line stays very visible. If I'm putting some side spin on the golf ball, whether my putter face was slightly closed or slightly open at impact, the line just disappears and becomes a bit of a blur. So from a practice perspective, it helps me to understand if I'm getting square contact, but also from a playing perspective, I think it just takes that out the equation for me, and I can worry about the stroke rather than worrying about the alignment. So if I'm standing here, and I'm gonna, well, maybe I shouldn't tell you which one I'm gonna do first, and then we can hopefully discuss the one that I'm about to do. But that, it wasn't bad. It rolled okay, but I reckon I caught it a little bit out the heel. It sort of wobbled a little bit. But I just find that if you can get good at seeing your ball rolling end over end, then you know that your putter is nice and square. If you see your ball and the line just sort of vanishes during the roll, then you know you're putting some sort of spin on the golf ball. Now, I would say the only reason that you should be a no-line person is if you are a very good visualizer. If you are a sort of person that stands over the golf ball, and maybe they're trying the line, and then you get over the golf ball, and you don't feel comfortable over the ball where that line, and you're seeing a slightly different line, the argument is that the better you are at visualizing, the less you should use the line, because it can start to bring in some confusion. We have an eye dominance, so if you're right eye dominant, sometimes you can see it going off to the right hand side. If you're left eye dominant, you may see it going over to the left hand side. So if you're standing over the ball and you don't trust that that line's going where you want it, but you can see the line anyway, then just don't use the line. Because I don't want you standing over a golf ball where you are not trusting your alignment, because that is not going to produce a very committed putting stroke. So I personally like the line. I personally think the line is a good thing because it helps with the roll and it takes a lot of the guesswork out of play. But just because I like it doesn't mean you should like it. I would try both on a practice green, see if you see any sort of difference. And if no line works for you, then stick with no line. But I'm going to stick with the line.